Yes, so we'll be talking a little bit more about this today, the Tarmac SL8. As usual, I picked a very windy day. Today's ride will take me over, what I've got planned, will take me over the 100-mile mark for this bike. So I just thought I would share some more of my thoughts about this bike, and in particular, this setup after 100 miles. So let's go. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we go any further. Today is the 1st of October. I don't know when this is going to go out. Last couple of days in England, it has pissed down. So I don't expect the roads to be very nice in places. The route slash ride I've chosen today is kind of a little bit out in the countryside a little bit. I'm actually hanging. I've been burning the candle at both ends a little bit recently, so it's just a recovery zone 2 ride. As you can tell, first hill and I've lost it. A massive thank you to everyone who's commented on any video really, but especially the last couple of videos. They've given me some really good insights. Morning. They've given me some really good insights, some really good info, and it's nice to know that people are still watching these videos. Big shout out to 2 people in particular. My boy Patrick Lino, he's been helping me with velo builds for a couple of years now. Little tricky technical questions, but also, you know, he's taken the time to, well, he doesn't have to watch it all, but at least watch the first 30 seconds of one of my videos and comment and like posts on Instagram and stuff. And I think we've got a similar love for the LA Sprint, now a similar love for the SL8, and obviously the Hyper wheels. Next shout out is for, sorry if I butcher your name, I'm just going off your Instagram, but Mr. Federico, someone who recently has had 2 bikes stolen, one being a velo build and a Canyon Ultimate with really nice configuration and setup. If you watch any of the velo build sort of YouTubers, we would have seen that video already, so please share and like and pass that on for him. Hopefully he'll get them back. Keep your eyes peeled on eBay for parts and stuff. Such a shame. I'd be absolutely besotted if I lost one of my bikes, so massive shout out to him. So yeah, basically the longest ride I've done on this bike is around the 40-mile mark. Today's ride's going to be not too far off, about 35 miles. Going to take you down to Mara Zion. But yeah, thoughts about this bike really, not too much dissimilar from my last video, to be honest. It feels super smooth on the flats. I have changed the crank. I spoke about that briefly in the last video. So I've gone back to a 165. On the LA Sprint I ran a 160, and I just found that, like, although it kept me in a very sort of like arched over, basically like a time trial thing, I was like really happy sitting in sort of like this position over on the hoods, but you can't really keep that up for like hours on end. Felt a little bit kind of like I was falling into the front of the bike, and having watched a couple of videos online, you know, the classic like Bike Fit James or Neil Stanbury like videos, that can be an issue with people running too short a crank. So I definitely kind of felt that, I felt like my cadence, although it was higher, it kind of felt excessively high. Kind of happy around 90 RPM really, but it was pushing me a little bit higher than that a lot of the times, which was fine. Anyway, that's nothing to do with the bike. So yeah, it kind of feels great feels really in control on the sort of flats, climbs really well. I'm gonna go through a little bit of a twisty bit now. Hopefully the ground is okay and dry. Probably could do with some new tyres soon as well. They're all right, but they're not as confidence inspiring as the other ones, they have had some miles on them. Not too many miles to be fair. I wish I was that cool. Bonk.
One knock at the door and then we both know how the story ends. You can't win if your white flag's out when the war begins. Aiming so high but springing so low, trying to catch fire but feeling so cold. Holding inside and hope it won't show. I'm saying it's not, but inside I know today's gonna be the day you notice, 'cause I'm tired of explaining what the joke is. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. Turn to run, now look what it's become. Outnumbered 10 to 1. Back then should've bit your tongue, 'cause there's no turning back. This path once it's begun, you're already on that list. Say you don't want what you can't resist. Waving that sword when the pen won't miss. Watch it all falling apart like this. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. Today's gonna be the day you notice, 'cause I'm tired of explaining what the truth is. This is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. Heavy is the crowd. Heavy is the crowd.
We are about 1 hour in, travelled about 16 miles. Some of the roads have been okay, some of them not great, but we move. This is where we are. So very lucky that 15 miles away from my house, pretty much in every direction, is somewhere like this. Not that, but this. So yeah, to be honest, I don't really know what to say other than like, it's a really hang on. Back on. It's a really great all-round bike. Comparison wise, so I jumped on, obviously rewind slightly, if I remember when I get home I'll take some pictures of it so you can see what the Velobuild 268 looks like now. So the Velobuild 268 has now got the Raval C38 wheels on it with the 32mm Vittorias. I popped out on it the other day, just went up and down the road as I do, and it feels like a slug compared to this. I know comparison is the thief of joy and whatever, but that Velobuild 268 and the LA Sprint as well, they felt really tight, really stiff in the bottom bracket. But you can actually, I mean, I'm not a massive, like, this is basically a zone 2 bike. Really, I spend like 90% of my life in zone 2. So it's kind of wasted on me really, and I have thought about that. But who cares? The bottom bracket, you can noticeably tell that it's smaller. Maybe that's just like my brain and my eyes working together, but it feels that the bottom bracket section on the Velobuild 268 feels bigger, it feels stiffer, it feels more direct, is probably the only way to put it, whereas this feels a little bit more like friendly, I suppose, is the only real word I would use. I know that doesn't really make any sense in the bike world, but 100 miles in to its riding life, and I'm really loving it. Like I said earlier, I have changed the crank. I've gone to a 165 crank, which did mean I had changed the saddle height. Actually brought the saddle height down a little touch, and I'm feeling like that's pretty much bang on now. I'm going to, once I've sold some of the bits, I've decided to break the Velobuild. So if you see the frame up on eBay over the next couple of days, get yourself a good old cheap frame. The Raval wheels will be going up for sale, and the group set will be going up for sale, all separately. Once one of them sell, I'm going to pull the trigger on a cheap set of winter wheels for this. Whether or not I just get a set of like semi-bulletproof DT Swiss things, whether or not I get the guys at the bike shop to build me something, or I get like a cheap set of just like really shallow carbon wheels that will be relatively light, but just will see me through winter. Because I mean, like I said, today's the 1st of October and it's pretty groomed, so I want to keep this bike relatively nice. I've already stupidly thought about, like, oh, that didn't turn off. I've already stupidly thought about getting a winter bike, which is a bit silly when I've just paid all this money for this, but at the same time, you know, it's my money. I don't know what I'd get as a winter bike. Maybe I'll get rid of the hardtail and get a gravel bike and just go full circle. The Cruxes are looking pretty sick at the moment. So yeah, I guess really, like, that's kind of it. I mean, I'll take you with me for a little bit more, but what a bike. What a bike.